Hello everyone, this is the second story of the week, again from the Bible History by John Brugdenhill. This story is Amaziah and Uzziah. In the last chapter we told you that Joash, the king of Judah, was murdered. He was slain by his own servants while he lay seriously hurt on his bed. The son of Amaziah became king in his place. Many waited in suspense to know how this sovereign would reign. He began well. In the Bible we read that he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. This is very good, wasn't it? Yes, it is true, but something else is written after those words which is not so good. Do you know what it is? It is this, but not with a perfect heart. Certainly he worshipped the Lord and reigned according to the laws and decrees of God, but he did not do it sincerely. He did not do it out of love to the Lord, because God is so worthy of it. Oh no, but he served the Lord outwardly for the benefits he received and out of self-interest. Amaziah's purpose was not the honor of God, it was of his own honor. Still, the beginning of his reign was good. When he was well set up in his kingdom, he punished the murderers of his father. They must pay for their crime with their lives. However, Amaziah did not slay their children. They could not and must not be punished for something which their fathers had done. Although Amaziah did not serve the Lord with a perfect heart, still he was blessed by the Lord. Amaziah is sitting upon his throne in his palace. He is thinking seriously. He is making plans, great plans. Peace and order prevail in his kingdom. Prosperity and wealth slowly are returning. Still, he is far from being as mighty as the God-fearing Jehoshaphat was in his day. At that time, the Edomites were subjected to the Israelites. Every year they brought gifts to Judah and its king. After the death of Jehoshaphat, the Edomites revolted. At that time, Jehoram, Jehoshaphat's son, the king, who is not good, tried to win over the Edomites, but without success. During the reigns of Athaliah and Joash, nothing resulted from trying to force the Edomites into obedience. Now that Amaziah reigns, he will try to punish this rebellious nation for their disobedience. They must bring him gifts and serve him as they had served Jehoshaphat. This is what he was thinking about. He wants to wage war. Soon, several messengers are sent out by the king. They must call the people to battle. In a short time, the streets of Jerusalem rumble with the footsteps of many thousands of soldiers. Amaziah has a strong army. It numbers 300,000 men. Still, it is not as numerous as the days of his father Joash. Amaziah wants to strengthen his army. From the kingdom of the 10 tribes, he hires another 100,000 soldiers to add to his own. In those days, Joash, the grandson of Jehu, reigned over Israel. The kingdom of the 10 tribes had a king whose name was Joash, and the kingdom of the 2 tribes, Judah and Benjamin, also had a king with the same name of Joash. So, Amaziah is able to hire troops from Israel. This makes his army more numerous and much stronger. At least he thinks so. Preparations are completed for the march toward Edom. But before Amaziah leaves Jerusalem, he receives a warning from the prophet of the Lord. He must send back the army he had hired from Israel. The prophet says, "The kingdom of the 10 tribes worships the golden calves. Therefore the Lord will not help you. If these 100,000 soldiers go with you, you will be defeated." Amaziah listens to the word of the Lord and sends back the hired army. They may not go along. The men from the kingdom of Israel return to their own country in great anger. They take this as a great insult. What does Amaziah think? Anger and hatred rise in their hearts against Amaziah and his people. But the king of Judah does not concern himself about it. When all things are ready, he and his soldiers go to battle against Edom. Yes, indeed, Amaziah wins a glorious victory. 10,000 Edomites are slain. Besides, he takes another 10,000 soldiers as prisoners. With singing and rejoicing, the victorious army of Judah returns. The king who rides along in their midst glows with pride. He, with his courageous warriors, have won this glorious victory. It never enters Amaziah's mind that the Lord had given him the victory. Oh no, God does not receive the honor. He, the king, must have the honor. With many riches, laden with spoil, the army approaches the capital. Among the treasures which were brought from Edom were found several stone images. Upon the command of Amaziah, these are handled with the greatest respect. Whose images are they, and why are they handled so carefully? Why, they are the gods of the Edomites. Short picture there. As soon as Amaziah returns to Jerusalem, these idols of the Edomites are set up. Altars are built and Amaziah worshipped these idols. Isn't that terrible? These idols could not deliver the Edomites, and now Amaziah bows down before these speechless stone images. He worships them. How is that possible? A prophet of the Lord comes to the king and admonishes him. But this time Amaziah will not listen. No, he gets angry and snarls at the man of God. You must keep quiet. Why do you concern yourself about me? Mustn't I know for myself? If you are not silent, I will slay you. And the prophet is silent. Not because he is afraid of the king, but because he notices that Amaziah will not listen to him. He also is silent because he realizes that the Lord will humiliate the proud, haughty, unthankful king as a punishment upon his idolatry. A few months pass. For the second time, a large troop of soldiers goes through Jerusalem's gates. Amaziah the king is going to fight again. This time he marches toward the north, to the kingdom of the 10 tribes. He wants to punish Joash, the king of Israel. Punish him? What for? Well, when Amaziah was fighting against the Edomites, the 100,000 soldiers of Israel who had been sent back by Amaziah invaded the land of Judah. They would avenge themselves of the insult given to them by Amaziah. Some of the cities of Judah were plundered by that army. 3,000 subjects of Judah's king lost their lives. They were slain by the embittered Israelites from the kingdom of Joash. The destroying troops returned to their own country laden with gold and silver. However, when Amaziah returned from the battle against Edom and heard this, he became furious. He will not let that go by. He will seek revenge. Now that he has defeated the Edomites, he thinks he also can defeat the kingdom of the 10 tribes. He sends this message to Joash, the king of Israel. Come, let us see one another in the face. What does that mean? Why, it is as though Amaziah is saying, I want to fight with you. I declare war against you. However, Joash would warn Amaziah, do not declare war, Amaziah, the king of Israel says. Why must we fight each other? You must remain peacefully in Jerusalem. You have fought bravely against the Edomites and have gained a splendid victory. Be satisfied. Why should you fight and fail? Why should you want to bring sorrow and misery upon yourself and your people? Still, Amaziah would not listen. No, he must and shall fight with Joash. Children, it is foolish of Amaziah. The Lord gave Amaziah over to his own proud heart and foolishness, in order to punish him for his idolatry. Amaziah left the Lord, and the Lord will no longer bless and help him. No, the Lord will now leave him. He goes to battle against the Israelite king. When Joash sees that Amaziah won't listen to his good advice, Joash goes to meet Amaziah with his army. Soon the battle breaks out. The fighting is fierce. Before it is dark, thousands of Amaziah's soldiers lie on the battlefield, and Amaziah is a prisoner of Joash, the king of Israel. He is defeated, and his remaining soldiers flee. Amaziah returns to Jerusalem, his own capital, as a prisoner. For him, this is disgraceful and humiliating. Joash, the king of Israel, triumphantly enters Jerusalem. He breaks down a portion of Jerusalem's wall. He takes all the gold and silver from the temple and the palace of Amaziah. And when Joash leaves the city, he takes many prisoners with him to Samaria. This war had a very unhappy, sad ending for Amaziah and his people. Yes, indeed, pride comes before a fall. Suddenly, the inhabitants of Judah and Benjamin are plunged into the greatest misery because of the foolishness of their king. Therefore, it is not strange that the people of Judah become very angry with their king. A few men from Jerusalem consult together and decide to kill the king. They make a conspiracy. They secretly agree with an oath to kill him. This makes it unsafe for Amaziah to stay in Jerusalem. Death lurks for him there. He leaves his capital and flees to Lachish, a city which is far from Jerusalem. But that doesn't help him. His adversaries seek him in Lachish, where he is murdered. His body is carried to Jerusalem and buried in the graves of the kings. He reigned 29 years over Judah and Benjamin. He began so well, and later, when he left the Lord, he perished sadly. Children, this was the punishment for his many and great sins. They that forsake the Lord can fear and expect grief upon grief. We see that here.